How could you misunderstand? Dude, I'm at Castle in Chess.
Today, we're going to explain castling. We're going to see what is it, how it's done, and most importantly, why it's done. Let's go. So first, what is castling? Castling is a special type of move in chess where the king moves two spaces and the rook goes over it. So let's see how it works. We take our king and put it two squares away, and in online play, it immediately recognizes it as castling. In over the board play, you will have to put your king first on this square and then the rook on this square. This is known as castling kingside or castling short. You could also go the other way and castle queenside, also known as castling long. What is the difference between these? If we go kingside or short, our king is protecting all of our pawns that are shielding him. We call these guys the shield. However, if we go queenside, that's not the case. Our a2 pawn is not being defended by our king. So oftentimes we have to play king b1 as a move in order for that to happen. That's difference number one. Difference number two is going to be that after we castle long, our rook is already in the center and ready to fight. Whereas if we castle kingside or short, that is not the case. We have to play an additional move, rook e1, in order for that to be true. For this reason, castling kingside is considered a little bit more safe, whereas castling queenside is considered a little bit more risky, dangerous, but also aggressive. And the last difference, when we castle queenside, our king is most likely on an open diagonal here. So even though we have some pieces that are here right now, maybe down the line 20 moves, that might be problematic and we might get checked from this diagonal. Whereas on the other side, our king has no open files or diagonals in front of him. So remember, when you castle queenside, remember this king b1 move, or as black, king b8, in order to shield all of your pawns and also get out of this open diagonal for later. Now we're going to get into when castling is actually possible and why we want to do it. But if you're enjoying the video so far, drop a like below to let me know. There are three conditions we have to pay attention to. Number one is not to move the king or the desired rook. So notice if I play rook b1 and they play something, I cannot castle queenside anymore. Similarly, if I move the king, I cannot castle to either side anymore. Condition number two, all the squares between the king and the rook must be empty. So notice if the knight was still on b1, I cannot castle queenside. And condition number three is that the king cannot land on or go through an attacked square. So if we want to castle queenside, there can't be any black pieces attacking this or this square. So let's see that on the board. So after, let's say, queen e2, bishop e3, something, notice that we cannot castle queenside because that will land into an attack. Similarly, let's make this square attacked. So here, something. Notice again, it's not letting me castle queenside. Interestingly enough, if the b1 square is attacked by a black piece, we can still castle queenside because our king doesn't have to go through an attacked square, our rook does. So let's make that happen. Let's say something along these lines. Notice that we can castle queenside. And now comes the advanced section. Let's see why we castle in chess. The reason you want to castle is to improve your king safety. This is very important to understand because a lot of players castle just to castle. But the idea is that as a result of playing the opening and fighting for the center of the board, we're going to get a lot of open space in front of our king. For example, as soon as trades start to happen like this, notice that our king will start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, maybe in danger oftentimes. So let's say that we go to the king side. Now the king feels a lot better because any sort of opening up of the center doesn't affect our king anymore. Once we understand that castling is done to improve king safety, we can start to castle better than previously because we have king safety in mind. So here, we're between queenside or kingside. Where would you go? Well, since we want to improve king safety, the clear choice is kingside. Why? Because if we take a look at the opponent's rooks, they are lined up on the queen side. The queen is on the queen side. The bishops are more pointing towards the queen side than the king side. And also, if we had gone queen side, there's another problem. One of our shielding pawns has gone up, going away from our king, shielding it less, which also allows black to go b5 and pawn break. And after many trades here, we are staring down at an attack. So sometimes there will be multiple hints in the position telling you which side you should castle, but sometimes there's only one hint. So in example 2, we have such a position. Where would you castle? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2-1, the clear choice is going to be queenside. Why? Because of the enemy bishops. They are the only one who are staring down at only one part of the board. The rooks are placed in a central fashion, so are the queen and the knight, but notice the bishops are staring down at the king side. So if we had gone king side instead, we would immediately lose because of bishop takes f3, and if we recapture, we just get checkmated. That's how powerful these bishops are. And it's also worth mentioning that if the bishops were also placed in a neutral fashion, for example like this, then both sides of the castle are completely fine. As a small bonus for making it to the end of the video, I'm giving you an advanced strategy I've seen masters use, and that's not castling. So again, coming from our understanding of we want to make our king safer, sometimes the safest option is not to castle, as is the case here. If we go queenside, the problem is that after rook b7, we have some big problems with our b file. Our king looks very exposed here. And after we castle short, again, the h file is open, so some sort of queen h7, and already there's problems. So the safest option for the white king is actually king f1, and next move king g1. So coming here behind this wall of shield, but sticking with the rook on the h file. Congratulations! Now you know what castling is, how it's done, and why it's done. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. Subscribe on my channel to see more stuff like this, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take it easy.